When building monocolor commander decks, most people throw in a couple utility lands, maybe some MDFCs, and then just fill the rest of the slots with 30 basics and call it a day. This approach reduces the mental load of deck building a little, but in my opinion, the opportunity cost of running so many basics is too high to pay. In this video, I'd like to provide another option, a package of lands that increases the amount of ramp, card draw, and interaction for any monocolor deck. This is the package I'll be going through. This combination of lands, when played together, provides your deck with a lot more tools to thrive in the late game. Everything revolves around untapping and copying the tri and quad lands, so let's start there. Lotus Field and Lotus Veil are staples in any white catch-up ramp strategy, but they're also just good cards for any land base. Other than being the main build-arounds for this package, they also help solve the color fixing issues that can occasionally arise when playing such a high quantity of colorless lands. Scorched Ruins doesn't help in that arena, but it is the first land I'll talk about that ramps all by itself. Sacrificing 2 lands to go up 4 mana is undeniably powerful, and it becomes even more broken with the support cards you'll see later. Next are the Soul lands, Ancient Tomb and Temple of the False God. Ancient Tomb obviously can only be played in bracket 3 and above, and I don't need to explain why it's a good card. Temple of the False God is conditional, but any deck that plays enough lands will be able to turn it on with no problem. This package is all about playing for the late game, and that's what Temple is made for. The enhancers are what makes this shit real. Thespian Stage can copy a tri or quad land, and Deserted Temple makes you feel like you're playing Tron when it comes down. Untapping a Lotus Field effectively means that Deserted Temple taps for 2 colored mana with no downside, or 3 colorless with a Scorched Ruins. Drownyard Temple is perfect fodder to sacrifice or discard, and turns a spare 3 mana into an extra land on the end step before your turn. Think of it as a Flagstones of Trocaire that every deck has access to. Vesuva can copy a Deserted Temple, a Temple of the False God, or any other busted land on the field. Every deck can play 2 bounce lands, Arid Archway and Guildless Commons. They make sure that you hit your land drops, and they can be copied by Thespian Stage. It might be a controversial statement, but bouncing a land to your hand counts as drawing a card. This next category doesn't have a great name, but I want to talk about these 2 utility lands separate from the rest because they're special. Talon Gates of Madara is interaction and ramp, and Urza's Cave can fetch it up at instant speed if needed. More often though, you can tutor for a tri-land or an enhancer to increase the consistency of this whole package. Next are the generic interaction lands. Demolition Field and Field of Ruin can both snipe a Nykthos without putting you down a land. Scavenger Grounds takes care of random graveyard recursion, and Abstergo Entertainment does the same while bringing you back an artifact or legend to your hand. Radiant Fountain and its new sibling Adventurer's Inn pad your life total a little bit, and are great targets for bounce lands. Those 2 will seem like really tempting cuts, but try them out first. There will be times when you're a couple life points away from dying, or you just need a little breathing room against an aggro deck. Those are all the lands in the package, but there are 3 more cards I have to mention that really make these lands hum. Pip-Boy 3000 and Lost Jite are both cheap ways to untap your lands, which goes crazy with any land that taps for 2 or more. Those 2 work best in decks that consistently have a creature that can attack, but Dowsing Dagger should go in every deck, period. The backside is the best tri-land out there because it can be copied by Vesuva, and the tokens that you give out can be leveraged into a deal. There is one important caveat to playing these lands that I need to mention. This whole package costs around $230 at the time of recording, which is a lot of money. However, just 3 cards take up the vast majority of this price tag. Ancient Tomb is the worst offender at $100, but it's also an easy cut. The harder pill to swallow is that Lotus Veil and Scorched Ruins both command hefty $50 price tags that will only go up as a result of them being on the reserve list. I don't want to advocate for spending a paycheck on 2 pieces of cardboard, so I'll go with the divisive but cost-effective recommendation of proxying those 2 cards. These lands will certainly not push a deck into bracket 4, and being on the reserved list makes them easier to rationalize to anyone who dislikes proxies. This land package has been my favorite part of playing monocolor decks in Commander. Having so much ramp in my lands means that I can devote more deck slots to other cards, and it's even more of a reason not to play mana rocks. If you put this package into one of your decks, comment down below how you like it. Feel free to like and subscribe as well if you're interested in more videos.